A really good example of a site that does a lot to keep itself vibrant and refreshed is Etsy. How many people know of Etsy? It's just actually a brilliant idea. So it was developed as a site where artists and crafters, and I mean crafters, not refrigerator magnet crafters, okay, crafters, could go to sell their artwork, sort of like an online art fair. They've done a really nice job of continuing to expand their content and their offerings to their community. So they have this blog, they have how-tos, they have a series of videos. They've got over 50 videos that profile different artists within their community. And this is a really good example of content that is developed for that community. I mean, she discussed all the things that I think a lot of artists have, where you're balancing, how do I follow my passion, how do I make a living, and the fact that she basically discovered this through trying other things that didn't work. So I just think this is a really nice example of how to create content for your community. So my next part of the sentence, viral. What the hell is viral anyway? Okay, you hear that all the time, viral, okay. So I'm going to show you a couple samples of huge viral hits. 20 million views. 20 million views. Okay? Next one, I'm sure everybody has seen this. I'm not going to play the whole thing. And I'd like to have a show of hands. How many people have seen this video? Okay. Obviously, it took off hugely last spring. It was everywhere. They actually invited them to the Today Show to reenact it. Okay. They did a takeoff on it on The Office. I mean, I don't think this was exactly planned out. Okay. To me, this just goes to prove, sorry guys can't dance, okay? Okay, the girls look good doing it. Okay, they've got the moves, they're doing okay. And then, of course, as every wedding must have, the guy who thinks he can dance. And your fallback position when you think you can dance, as the follow-up is, let's do a handstand, yeah! Okay. Oh my God, okay, next, all right. And then, of course, the most viewed video on YouTube, okay? How many people? Okay. A little mixed crowd though, not everybody's seen this. We are not going to go through the entire evolution of dance, okay? You can interpret what happens from here. Okay, 140 million views. Okay, so what made these viral? Okay, clearly I don't think there's a strategy behind them. Okay, I don't think they thought this through, but what it is, it's a good example of creating something that appeals. It obviously hit a note with people, and your content needs to appeal to people, okay? Now, one thing I'm going to give you as another little advice here is my idea of viral may be very different than yours or your boss's or your clients. I was speaking at a conference last week in Portland, and I said, okay, I want to ask people, what does viral translate to you? And one person raised their hand and said 500 views would be a viral hit for them. Another person raised their hand and said 500,000 views. And a third person said, well, it just needs to be shared. Okay, so there are three completely different definitions of viral. So, as a little bit of advice, define those expectations in advance. Going back to your marketing objectives, okay, going back to commandment number 1, as part of those objectives, what do you want to accomplish? What do you feel a reasonable number of views would be? And develop a distribution strategy aligned with those goals. So if you're trying to reach a very specific segment, you want to reach mommy bloggers who are 24 to 30, you may not be looking for huge numbers. You may just be looking that you are getting into a conversation with that specific group, okay? So numbers, having 500,000 views may not necessarily be what you're after, okay? But then again, you might have something else that, you know, we need to get it out as broadly as possible. We've got several different targets we're reaching, and so views to us are very important. So you need to include that as part of your and then figure out your distribution strategy to reach your markets. Once again, you're going after mommy bloggers, go to the mommy blogger sites, develop relationships with them, and define metrics to track that progress. So like I said, it could be a case of I want to know, I want feedback that I am reaching this particular group, and my metrics are going to be how many, you know, which mommy blogger sites pick this up, how many followers do they have. Okay, so be sure to define those metrics. It will just save pain and agony down the road when you're trying to justify phase 2 or phase 3 of your program.